अंतरिक्षक्षेत्रे भारतं विश्वस्य महाशक्तित्वेन विनिर्माणप्रक्रियायाम् अग्रगण्यः अस्ति सुप्रसिद्धः प्रक्षेपास्त्रवैज्ञानिकः डॉक्टर एस् नम्बी नारायण वर्यः, येन नैकाः उपलब्धयः अधिगताः। अनेन स्वदेशे निर्मितस्य प्रक्षेपास्त्रस्य PSLV इत्यस्य कृते सुप्रथितविकासयन्त्रस्य विनिर्माणं कृतम्, यस्य प्रयोगं विधाय भारतेन देशे विदेशेषु च नैके उपग्रहाः सफलतया प्रक्षेपिताः। न हि केवलम् एतदेव, प्रत्युत अत्याधुनिके क्रायोजेनिक इंजन विनिर्माणे अपि नारायणन् वर्यः महत्वपूर्णां भूमिकां निभालितवान्। पद्मभूषण विभूषितस्य डॉक्टर नम्बी नारायणन् वर्यस्य योगदानं देशः सदा सर्वदा च स्मरिष्यति। प्रिय दर्शकाः, अद्य अस्माभिः सह विद्यते अंतरिक्ष प्रौद्योगिकी क्षेत्रे भारतीय अंतरिक्ष भाग्य रूपांतरकः रॉकेट इति प्रक्षेपास्त्र वैज्ञानिकः डॉक्टर एस् नम्बी नारायण महाभागः। नमस्कारः महोदय, वार्तावल्यां भवतः हार्दिकं स्वागतमस्तु।
थैंक यू।
वयं जानीमः यत् प्रक्षेपास्त्र प्रविधि क्षेत्रे भारतं शीर्षस्थानं प्राप्नुयात् इति भवतः लक्ष्यं वर्तते। परञ्च दर्शकानां कृते वयं भवतः प्रारम्भिकजीवनविषये ज्ञातुम् इच्छामः यत् बाल्यकालादेव भवान् रॉकेट इति प्रक्षेपास्त्र वैज्ञानिकः भवितुम् इच्छति स्म, वा न वा?
No, actually, as a child, I never knew even what is rocket. But like any other child, one will watch what is flying. So I was actually developing some interest on the aircrafts. As we grew, you got into engineering, and then in engineering I chose mechanical engineering. And there again I chose an aerofoil shape axial flow compressor as my project, which was the closest to the aircraft technology. And after I passed out of my engineering, I found the project was so interesting, so I started reading more on the rockets. That is how my interest in rocket got into the picture.
महोदय, विकासयन्त्रस्य गाथा अत्यन्त रोमाञ्चकारी वर्तते। वयं ज्ञातुम् इच्छामः यत् फ्रांस् देशात् प्रौद्योगिकीम् आनेतुं कीदृशं काठिन्यं भवता अनुभूतम्। यन्त्रमिदम् अस्माकं वाहकव्यवस्थायां कथं परिवर्तनं विधास्यति? सम्प्रति विकासयन्त्रं प्रयोगे अस्ति न वा?
Yeah, it is actually used in almost all our missions. We have launched so far 53 launches using PSLVs and GSLVs, and all the mission used the Vikas engine. Of course, you know the very famous Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan missions, they also used Vikas engine. It was a joint development. We went there and we joined with the company. We were working there. This engine was not available at that time. So we jointly developed this engine. That is how you get to know the know-whys rather than not only the know-hows. So otherwise you won't be having this technology. So I just wanted to make the record clear that it was a joint development. For example, you know, you have everything in an aircraft in your country. You have the bolt, nut details. After something like about 10,000, 20,000 hours of flight, you strip the entire aircraft. Then what you do is you reassemble it. At that time you have the drawings, you have the parts, you have the procedure, you have the know-how. So all you have to do is assemble it back as per the know-how procedure. And then you fly it.
देशान्तरात् श्रेष्ठ प्रविधिम् आनेतुं भवतः कृतसङ्कल्प प्रयास विषयेषु सर्वे जानन्त्येव। अपि च लिक्विड प्रपल्शन प्रविधि इति एतस्य भारते समानयन यात्रा कीदृशी आसीत्?
Actually, when we started this liquid propulsion system, there was nothing called a liquid propulsion system in India. I mean in ISRO. But you had the solid propulsion technology. We were using this Aravangadu propellant, which is a solid SUK propellant they call it. It was an extruded propellant, but one would have to understand what is liquid propulsion. Liquid propulsion means that we are using the oxidizer and fuel in the form of liquid. So then you ignite it. In both the solid and liquid, the technology is same. You burn the propellant and then expand the gas through a nozzle. Then you get the required thrust to go up. Now in India, the liquid propulsion was not possible in the sense that you didn't have the propellants, you didn't have the technology, you didn't have the materials to handle it. So when we started it, we started at a lowest level, and then we got into some kind of some 600 kg thrust, which is a very small thrust. I happened to fly that rocket first. It was a successful flight. We made only 2 flights. Then we wanted to go up, but then we didn't have the funds, or we didn't have the approval, we didn't have the project, we didn't have the personnel, nothing is available. So we went to a 3-ton engine, which was 3 tons thrust. This was used actually, this 3 ton was borrowed from the SAM missile, the Russian missile. So we thought we will develop something, it can be of some use to the country. We had a lot of problems in developing the 3-ton, and in the flight also it failed. So that is how the liquid propulsion system started.
अंतरिक्षे भारतस्य भविष्यं कथमस्ति? विशेषरूपेण अंतरिक्षे सोमे मंगले च भविष्ये मानवीय यात्रा समर्थानां प्रक्षेपकयानानां निर्माणे भारतस्य भविष्य विषये अस्माकं दर्शकान् बोधयतु.
To my knowledge, we have planned very well for the satellite launching. We know that we have to launch a 4-tonner, and we have successfully done. And we have planned for almost all the boosters and the rockets required for it. But I don't think that we have planned well for the outer space related work. Yes, we had Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan. These are some kind of shall I say, experimental work with the available rockets you had, used it. But on the other hand, if you really want to do an outer space mission, like the moon landing mission and then the Gaganyaan and even travel to Mars and stuff like that, I think you need a detailed planning. In future, your question if it is for future, yes, somebody has to plan it. It has to be a sequential manner. You don't do things haphazard. You should have a goal set for that. You work towards that goal in step by step. So that way, I think it has a fantastic future, and you have to plan it and you have to execute it.
महोदय, देशे ज्ञानवृद्धः भवान्. देशस्य युवभ्यः भवान् कीदृक् सन्देशान् प्रदास्यति?
What I would like to do the youngsters particularly, because they are not yet polluted in their mind, they are youngsters. So what I feel is that today's younger generations are really smarter. These external forces were acting on us, parental, teachers and society. Now today's youngsters are having more freedom to think what is right, what is wrong. So what I would like to tell them is that for some reason, for example, what studies I should undertake, should I to become a doctor, should I to become an engineer, or should I to become a painter. So whatever is your thinking, rational, or what is the job which you like, you are going to be a singer, so you like that job. So that one you develop it. You must know the difference between a profession and a hobby. So if you are talking about a profession, and if you want to choose a profession by your own thinking, by your own discussions, your own findings, if you find something good, I strongly would say go ahead with that rather than don't get carried away by what your other people are pressurizing you to do. Why? Because I want you to be successful. You can be successful only when you do something which you like and which you feel is important. Same thing is true for general thing also. Wherever you feel you are right, stick to it. In fact, the truthful, my own life itself I take that way. I believe that this is true, this is the way to do it. Difficulties were there, but I continued to think in that line. I never compromised anything. I was successful. So that way I feel you should do that.
महोदय, अस्माभिः सह संवादार्थं बहुशः धन्यवादाः.
Yeah, thank you so much, Richa. It's nice talking to you.
सार गर्भितः ज्ञान विज्ञान